Most people are terrified of being still because in the silence they finally have to meet the person they've become. We use busyness as a drug to numb the realization that we are running a race toward a grave with nothing in our hands. You aren't hustling because you're ambitious. You're hustling because you're a coward, running away from the void inside you. If you cannot master the art of doing nothing, you are not a leader. You are a high-functioning slave, a puppet dancing to the rhythm of every notification, every insult, and every petty demand for your time. We live in an age of manufactured urgency that feeds on your insecurity. Feel it right now, that phantom vibration in your pocket, the mental itch of a half-read email, the cold dread that if you aren't grinding at midnight, you are losing. Your ego tells you that motion is progress, but the graveyard is full of people who were busy. Look at the titans of history who actually held the world in their hands. When the Roman Republic was rotting from the inside, Cato the Younger didn't win his power by shouting over the noise. He won it through a terrifying cold restraint. He would walk through the marble streets of Rome barefoot and silent, refusing to engage in the political theater. While his enemies screamed and maneuvered, Cato gave them nothing. He understood the dark truth. The only way to win a rigged game is to refuse to play. By doing nothing, he became the only thing the corrupt could not buy. He was a fixed point in a world of spinning ghosts. Think about the moment you truly lose your power. It usually starts with your bank account. You're scrolling late at night and you see it. A lifestyle, a watch, a vacation. Suddenly you feel a hollow pit in your stomach. It's not a need, it's a burning impulse to match an image. You feel the physical itch to spend money you haven't earned to impress people you don't even like. This is the nothing you should be doing. Sitting in that chair, feeling that hot, desperate itch of desire and watching it die. Wealth isn't the ability to buy everything. It is the psychological fortress of needing nothing. The most dangerous man in the market is the one who doesn't care about the trend. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would frequently sleep on stone floors and eat stale bread simply to look his own fear in the eye and ask, "Is this the poverty I was so terrified of?" If you can't survive a night without your comforts, you don't own your money, it owns you. Now, look at your relationships. You get a text, it's short, it feels like a slight. Your heart rate spikes. Your thumbs hover over the keyboard. You want to defend your honor. You want to send a 3-paragraph explanation of why you're right. You feel the physical need to hit send, just to soothe the tension in your chest. But in that moment, you are a slave to a piece of glass. When you rush to defend yourself, you reveal exactly where you are bleeding. Silence is the ultimate boundary. If you cannot sit in the heat of a conflict without trying to fix it or win it immediately, you are a puppet. Epictetus, who lived as a slave before he became a philosopher, taught a dark, hard truth. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. They have a hook in your jaw, and they can pull it whenever they want. Imagine the leverage you gain when someone tries to provoke you, and you offer them absolutely nothing, no anger, no defense, not even a glance. You watch them exhaust themselves against your silence. You are the cliff against which the waves continually break, standing firm while the fury of the water tames itself around you. In your family, we often mistake doing for loving. You see a problem with your child, your sibling, or your spouse. You feel the internal pressure to manage their emotions, to solve their crisis, to control their outcome. You become the fixer until you are hollowed out by resentment, wondering why no one appreciates your effort. The hard truth is that your fixing is often just your own ego trying to control things you have no right to touch. Stoicism tells us that the greatest gift you can give your bloodline is not your labor, but your equanimity. It is the ability to be the calm center when the people you love are in a storm. Think of George Marshall during World War II. He had worked his entire life for the glory of commanding the troops on the beaches of Normandy. It was his moment. But when President Roosevelt asked him what he wanted, Marshall went silent. He told the president to do what was best for the country and refused to lobby for himself. He did nothing to serve his own ego. He gave up the glory to Eisenhower. Marshall's restraint didn't make him a footnote. It made him the moral backbone of the entire war effort. If you are as frantic as the people you love, you aren't a lighthouse. You're just more wreckage in the water. This applies most lethally to your career. You've been told that visibility is power. You've been told to be first in, last out. But the corporate world is a meat grinder for the busy. The person who answers every email in 5 minutes is seen as a tool, not a leader. Real authority comes from the person who is comfortable with the silence between the chaos. While your colleagues are frantically adding value and begging for notice, you are observing. You are gathering the one piece of information that actually matters while they are drowning in the trivial. Consider the social pressure of our time. You feel the weight of the world's expectations. You're expected to have an opinion on every news cycle, every scandal, every office rumor. You feel like you're falling behind if you aren't part of the conversation. But Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you always have the option of having no opinion. Feel the cold relief in that sentence. There is no law that requires you to engage. When you refuse to form a judgment on things that do not concern your character, you preserve a massive amount of mental energy. While your peers are exhausted from the weight of their own opinions, you are fresh. You are sharp. You are ready for the one task that actually moves the needle. There is a specific kind of freedom that only belongs to the person who is content to be thought a fool. Epictetus famously said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Imagine walking into a room and being okay with people thinking you're out of the loop because you didn't watch the news or join the gossip. While they are busy being important, you are busy being free. The world will try to shame you for your stillness. It will call you lazy or cold or unambitious. Let them. They are measuring you by a clock that doesn't exist. Imagine a year from now. You have stopped answering the urgent emails that aren't important. You have stopped arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have stopped buying things to fill a void that only stillness can heal. You aren't falling behind. You are finally moving in a straight line while everyone else is zigzagging into exhaustion. This is the art of doing nothing. It is not about being a statue. It is about being a fortress. It is the realization that your energy is a finite resource, and most of the things asking for it are unworthy of the cost. The board is messy, the players are frantic, and the clock is ticking, but the game is won by the one who has the courage to sit still until the path is clear. Stop reacting, start observing. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. Real power moves quietly. It waits, it chooses, it strikes only when it must. And when you learn to stand still while the world rushes, you don't fall behind, you rise above. If this realization has started a fire in you, don't rush to share it. Don't post a status about it. Don't explain it to someone who hasn't asked. Just sit with it. Let the silence do its work. The world is loud, but the future belongs to the quiet.